Hello everyone and welcome to MsSprinklesDelights. And on today I'll be showing you how to make pork chops in the air fryer two ways. Air fryer squash casserole and fried cabbage in my 3-in-1 Ninja. Now let's get started. And here I have my pork chops. I used the brown sugar bourbon marinade, total seasoning, paprika, cumin, parsley, and slap your mama. Let them sit overnight. And here's my 3-in-1 Ninja. This thing is a stove top, a slow cooker, and an oven. It does all those functions in one. So here we're just going to start the fried cabbage. You just take your cabbage and you shred it. And as you can tell, I put the bacon in the stove top first to let it get crispy. And we're going to take that fat from that bacon. Once we take it out, and we're going to fry the cabbage in bacon grease. Every bacon makes everything taste better. Alright, so we're just going to put that in. And there's no need to add water because cabbage produces its own water, so you don't have to add any water to the cabbage once you put it in with the bacon grease. And here I put just 2 teaspoons of sugar because I'm going to make this a little bit spicy, so I'm trying to break it down some. A palmful of red chili flakes. And we put some parsley flakes. And of course I eyeball everything, so you take away or add as you see fit. Then we add some pink Himalayan salt, with my gadget of course. And some freshly ground black pepper. And we're just going to mix that around. And now you're starting to move the cabbage around in the bacon grease so that everything gets coated. And it's going to start frying. With this 3-in-1, you could do everything in here. I mean, I've baked cornbread in here before, so this thing is handy. No need for a stovetop because it has stovetop. It is a slow cooker and it is also an oven. You can delay the time, set the time, all that in this thing. So here I just added just a little bit of butter, just for taste. And then I take the bacon that I took out and just crumble it into the cabbage. Now I'm going to wash off the squash. And this is a mandolin. It's another one of my gadgets. It makes life so much easier. As you can tell, I'm able to just slice the squash and I don't have to cut it. It does everything for me. And I also did the same thing with my onion. Now you have to be careful because this thing will take your whole entire finger off. Then I just put a little bit of butter in the saute pan just so that I could start the squash and the onions together. So then I switched it over to my 3-in-1 because it was just a little bit faster than what I was trying to do. So I just seasoned it with some salt and pepper. And you just want to cook it down to where the squash is tender. You don't want to cook it too long because it'll become mushy and you'll have a mushy casserole. So now I'm just adding a little bit of garlic salt there. And now I'm going to make the casserole binder, which is 2 eggs, a tablespoon of mayonnaise, and I like Hellmann's for everything. I don't use any other mayonnaise, I just use Hellmann's all the time. and I just used a little bit of half and half. And then mix that together really well. Now just a little bit of paprika. And now I'm just going to put that into the squash and the onions. Now I drained the liquid off of the squash as well once it became tender, just so that it wouldn't be mushy and runny. So once you add that in, then you add a palmful, which is probably about a cup of sharp cheddar cheese. Well, maybe a cup and a half. You can't go wrong with cheese. I don't care how much you put in it. And I found some shredded Gouda. And you know, I put this in my macaroni and cheese, guys, but it's also good in this casserole. So I did the same thing there. Now there I just really used a cup of Gouda cheese, but I used a cup and a half of the sharp cheddar. And mix it really well. And now I just took a sleeve of Ritz crackers and just did a rough smash on them. And this will be your topping for your casserole. You just put it, I'm going to actually air fry this, so this is in my loaf pan. And I did my first layer, the squash casserole, then I put crackers, and then I put the remaining squash mixture on top. Now this was just enough, it actually fit in this 7-inch loaf pan. So that's going to make it easy to air fry. And then I just topped it with the remaining Ritz cracker pieces. Now you can use Townhouse too. I've used Townhouse before, but I like Ritz on top of stuff like this. So you can use breadcrumbs, Planko. And then once you're done, you're just going to take some melted butter, and that's about a tablespoon and a half of melted butter, and you just pour it over top of your crackers. Then you'll cover aluminum foil, and you're going to do that steam baking that we've done previously in other videos. You're going to poke some holes in the aluminum foil so it can vent while it's trying to bake. Now here we are getting ready to start the pork chops. I sprayed my basket after I preheated it for 3 minutes on 400. And now we're going to flour them with that Kentucky Colonel seasoning that I always use. Now I'm going to be doing pork chops 2 ways. We will be frying them one way, and the other ones will be completely naked with no flour on them at all. And they will be dipped in my sauce. So I'm thinking, since these pork chops were really big, I can only do 3 at a time, which was okay because I had other things I could be doing while those 3 were cooking. So just make sure you shake off your excess. Now we're going to spray them with the olive oil. And once again, in my opinion, you have to lube whatever it is you are trying to cook so that it's not chalky and dusty. So I set these for 20 minutes on 390. Flipped them at 10. And then after I flipped them at 10, I went back and put them on 400 for 10 minutes. And I actually only did 5 minutes 400, 5 minutes 390. And there's your pork chops. So now we're just going to do the naked pork chops the same way. 7 amount of time, just no breading on them. And I was able to actually fit 4 in there this time. And these did sit in the seasoning overnight in the refrigerator, so I'm pretty sure that those seasonings were all married together by now. So I just sprayed them and just popped them into the air fryer. And we did 390 for 20 minutes, going back and checking at 10. Okay, we've checked at 10, we flipped, and I did the same things I did with the fried ones. They look really good. So now I'm going to take the ones that are naked with no flour on them, and I'm actually going to dip them into the barbecue sauce, which is Frank's hot sauce, barbecue sauce, honey, brown sugar, and apple cider vinegar, and butter. Now you don't have to, put these in any sauce. They're actually good without the sauce, but we like this sauce with everything, so. And there you have your pork chops. Air fried pork chops 2 ways. And now we're going to stick the squash casserole into the air fryer. And we're going to do 400 for 15 minutes. I did 415, so it was at 12 minutes. Then I took the foil off, and then I let it air fry the rest of the way without it covered. There's your completed dish, guys. Air fried pork chops 2 ways, fried cabbage in the 3-in-1 Ninja, and squash casserole in the air fryer. And my girl Jasmine came by to be my test tester for today. Let's see what she has to say.
I love bacon. So I love bacon. It's a little sweet. I think it's a little sweet.
Just a little bit.
They want to try. And I want to try the one with her special sauce. Special sauce.
No teriyaki.
No.
But the question is it good? That's all I want.
It's different. I like it.
That's all I needed to know. And now you can drink to that.
Okay. Cheers.
That's it, guys. Thank you for stopping by. Please like, share, and subscribe to the next video.